Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today I want to talk to you about what could potentially be the next generation of tech introduced into the RPG and board game world. And we're talking about the Uni Dice, a digital dice hybrid. Now, the interesting thing about this product is that every single screen here is customizable. So, if you're someone who enjoys integrating interesting technology into your gaming nights, or having cool ways to program, create, and design your own different types of games, faces, or incorporating new technology into the games that you play, the Unidice is a little device, is a brand new product you should be paying attention to. Now, I'm working with a prototype here. The final version will have more of a black silicone style to it, and some of the app and sensory integration is still being developed as you're watching this. So I don't have a full game to show off, but what I do have is some of the tech and some of the concepts around where this technology is going and what you're going to be able to do with it after this Kickstarter has finished running. Now, I will let you know this. There is a link at the top of the video description. This is a sponsored video, and today, the day you're watching this video, the Kickstarter is going live. And it's going live at what some would say is a ridiculous price point. A price point that is probably as competitive as you're going to find for a smart device like this. So swing over there, take a look. The first day has a fantastic deal. And the other days are going to be unlocking and revealing more and more information about this product as time goes on. So if you're interested, lock in on the first day and then follow the campaign to decide if you want to keep your pledge and if it's something that you'll think you'll be able to incorporate and use. Okay, that being said, let's talk about what this device is. So the straightforward thing is that the Unidice is, well, a multi-sided square. Right, a multi-sided square. It has an internal sensor that is able to sense what portion is on the top or bottom. It has sensors that are able to sense whether or not you have interacted with it. Like I can lock and unlock the screens here if I would like. It also allows for different faces to interact with the app, giving it various points of information as you interact with it or as you play it. So right now, I have some faces. Like I have a Kingdom Death face here. I have a Nemesis face here, which is currently locked. I have I'm not sure which game that is face here. I know there's a Zombicide face. I know there's a generic die face. This is a board game app die at the moment, where if I'm playing Kingdom Death, I set the Kingdom Death face to the very top of the die, I roll, and I continue to generate and get that information. I also have a Kingdom Death specified app, which is going to give me a few different sides. It'll give me a basic D10, it'll give me a hit location side, it'll give me a full, and I'll show you this in a second, it'll give me a full storybook side, all 100 of your quest events, and so you can actually customize and create whatever it is you're looking for. Okay, so how this works. First off, we have the product. It has a wireless charger here, so it'll pop down onto that. You'll be able to charge it up. It lasts for somewhere like 4 to 5 hours on a single charge, and charges, it lasts up to 12 hours on a single charge, charges for 4 to 5 hours in about 30 minutes. So you have some flexibility there. If you set it on the charging platform when you're getting your game set up, if you've forgotten and it's died, you'll be ready to go by the time the game's ready to go. I'm scanning for the Unidice, so I'm going to go ahead and select the one that I have, and then I can do a few things here. I could enter a deep sleep, which of course shuts it off. Well, now I'm going to have to wake it back up again, which, is not what I was trying to do for you, but I can go ahead and wake it up. I can tap it, and then I can scan for the Unidice again. I will reconnect to it here. Now, when I go into here, I have all of these different faces that I can now interact with. And every face can also have a series of images or a series of data sets contained within it. So one face, for instance, if I go here to the Kingdom Death side of the dice, this one face could have information like, for instance, Kingdom Death Lion, and this is a D10, so all the way 1 through 10. Okay? And I could go back. I could have the Kingdom Death body location. So this is going to be all of the different hit locations that you can have across the face of the die. Now, each one of these sides are things you can then add to the die that you're using. So if I pop over here into games, I can now add these die faces, these sides with all the information contained within them, to the die itself, so that as I'm rolling, I have all these different points of interest that I can respond to. The most basic application is as a normal die, of course, having a D4, D10, D12, D26. I mean, really, you can customize it about however you want because it's a digital rolling application, and every single one of these faces could generate an entire roster of numbers on a single roll. It's not like you're looking for the correct side. Instead, you can pin or lock or orient the sides however you would like. So if you want your primary number to be there on the top, the one you're rolling the most often, fantastic. If you want, for instance, your hit location to be on the bottom of the die for something like whether or not you're infected in Nemesis or whether or not you've taken a mortal head wound, you could have it on the bottom so that you have a grand reveal with everyone sitting around the table. You can customize and orient it however you're interested in. Now, combined with that, like I said, I have a Kingdom Death die here. So here, I can float around and I can show you that I have various sides to the die. Each one of these sides currently has customized Kingdom Death data on it. I can then lock the top of the die, I could lock the bottom of the die, I could click on it to add or change any of these faces, adding any of the other different types of dice sides that I've created. Which I won't do at the moment. Actually, on the bottom section here, I could go ahead and add something like, let's say we're playing Kingdom Death, and I just really want to add some Yorkies in, just in case you need a little bit of joy as you're playing. We've got that there. Now, what I do is I install that into the die here. So when I hit this, it'll start generating and sending those data sets over into the die. It might take a little bit of time. There's 45 data sets, so wirelessly it's going to be transmitting all that information. The die itself will cycle and update, giving me the option to roll according to all of those. While it does that, while it starts transferring over, let me talk to you about the interesting applications of the Uni die, what you're going to be able to use it for, and what you're going to be able to find over on the Kickstarter page when you go to check it out. So, we have, first, the concept of a basic die. I know, it's straightforward and it's simple, but it does allow you to provide things like artwork, lock and reveal, different hidden die results. It gives a lot of customization. So if you like the idea of having unique, interesting technology incorporated into your game groups, if you like the idea of having a single die that you can use for any of your applications, and honestly, if you like the idea of being able to add in your own graphics, your own animations, and utilize these screens in interesting, creative ways, the Uni die is something that might be worth paying attention to. Extending from that, though, custom die is where this starts to get more interesting. And I've got 4 of these categories. We're going to keep going, don't worry. Custom die is the idea of needing a D26 or D28 in a game. Custom die is the idea of needing a D100 that is actually showing me artwork related to the different location or the different story event that's happening in Kingdom Death. Having a custom die is something like a game that requires various different unique symbols or requires you to generate a unique algorithm. All those games can actually be modded and brought over here into the Uni die. And so as this becomes more and more of a popular accessible technology, you can actually have games that allow you to moderate things like the difficulty and the challenge mode or some of the different randomness and luck involved with them by having you update or install applications here on the Uni die. It gives you more flexibility, allows you to play with some of those custom dice icons, and allows you to incorporate any of your current custom dice you have into something that is slightly different than whatever you're currently using. Moving on. Think about the application when it comes to card decks and app integration. So if you have an app over here, like the Uni die app that I have, or any of the game apps that are going to be coming out, because they are designing unique standalone games associated with the die itself. But if I have a deck of cards and something like Zombicide, for instance, which one of these applications was referencing and had some of the mods up there, if I am generating random information from a random deck of cards, instead of having to cycle, sort, shuffle, and keep that deck of cards, I can mod all of that in, or I can receive from someone who's already done the work for me online the file with all of that modded in. So if I'm playing Zombicide, and I'm going to be spawning the next wave of creatures, or deciding what the consequence of a attack is, I can then have all that information modded over here into the dice, which means instead of having to deal with that deck of cards, I can just choose the scenario, could choose hard mode, could cycle it into the top of this die, and I'm ready to go. It's just a die roll away, which is sometimes more fun than drawing from the top of the deck. I don't know, your call on that, but it is an interesting application cycle. This doesn't just have to be dice. This can be any type of information, any type of data, words, language, text, card results, anything that is being drawn from a deck or randomized from any other type of algorithm can be inputted into here so that the artwork, the graphics, the text, the information, whatever it is visible and displayable not only on the screen here, but also potentially over on the app itself. Worthwhile to consider. Moving down, my number 4. Let's talk about card decks. Not card decks, RPG games. I read one of my cues and it was card decks, which I'd already talked about, so not as effective. This is about to update too, by the way. We're at 43 out of the 45 pictures. So, let's talk about RPGs. They're going to have a supporting application that allows you to input all of your RPG data, right? I believe it's going to be 5e compatible and compatible with a lot of the various systems that you have. That'll allow you to, okay, this is updated now. So now we have all of these, and of course we have a Yorkie side, which is just adorable. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a roll so we can see how it starts generating, changing. We have story event 26 here. We have an adorable Yorkie, which I've locked. I did get a D10, which is a lovely thing to get. I got a critical hit. I like some good artwork for the critical hit. If the white lion was attacking, I would have got a 7. And it looks like my wound location right now, because it's a piece of artwork, is, of course, going to be, if I can recognize the artwork, which orients it. I think it's the arm. I'm not entirely sure. What are you? Nope, not there. What are you, arm? Right there. Oh, come on. Well, either way, I can find it easy enough. That's not what we're talking about. They're going to have an RPG system integrated into this app, into the Unidice system, that allows you to add all of your stats, information, your spell attacks, your swords, and the weapon gears that you have, and apply those to various different sides of the dice as well. You then will be able to roll the die and have the app that you're using calculate the numbers that you need in order to resolve your attack. So the number that you get on the top of the die is going to be the actual consequence of what you just rolled. For me, that starts taking math out of the equation in a way that I am very, very interested in. Along with that, I'm really excited for when they allow us to start adding graphics and some animation and stuff to the screens here, because that's really what this is. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity to have like a fireball spell happen, and I have my number on the top, but around the edge of the dice, I have artwork or graphics or animation of fire kind of flaming up the sides of the die, right? You start incorporating into the world more and more and giving it an application that just makes it visceral and makes it really cool. Now, the other thing that I think is neat on this, the last category that I wanted to go through, is the fact that all of this is going to be modded and completely customizable by you, the audience. So, if you're a fan of using new technology to enhance, increase, explore, or just play around with the different, there's an arm wound that I just saw, but just to play around with the different types of technology that you have, if you want to start working on how to puzzle this in, if you already are thinking that you have cool ideas for how this can be used in one of your favorite games, or how this can be designed in a way that'll be interesting for a new game that's coming out, or used in one of your RPG stories, or in a game like Kingdom Death where you have all of these tables you have to manage, this is going to be the application for you. You get in at a aggressive price, a price that's probably lower than it'll ever be ever again. And you get the opportunity to start experimenting and exploring with what could be very cool technology. I'm hoping people use this. I'm hoping people discover and explore and figure out like everything they can do with this. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't want to do the programming. I don't want to be adding all my own artwork unless it's just my face and 17 different expressions, which I'm not opposed to. Or 37 photos of Yorkies, also not opposed to that. But I want to be able to grab things like a Kingdom Death application, like I already have here, and just sub it in and have that ready to use. And I want that for a variety of board games. I think it'd be very cool to have different storage systems on here that allow me to jump into Zombicide, jump into Dune Imperium, to jump into, Lost Ruins of Arnak, just any of these games. I don't think each one of those games has things that is an application, but prove me wrong. Let me know. I would love to have access to this. And then on top of that, you also just have kind of silly little gimmicky things. Like, for instance, do you need something that allows you to randomize your date night? Because you could put in your entire date night roster into this die and just have a couples portion of it. Do you need to decide what type of ice cream you're getting, what movie you're watching, help make decisions for the game group, like what board games you're playing? We'll have a function here where everyone adds in their games, right? They have pictures of them or the title of them, and you all sit around the table, grab the die, and you're like, we're going to play a party game. So we're going to flip to our party game side. We have our entire board game collection stored in this die. Our party game side of the die is going to be on the top, and we're going to go ahead and roll. Oh, we're playing Codenames tonight. Do you see how this works? The different applications you can use this for. It really does become, in some ways, an unlimited die. It's a die that goes beyond just the act of rolling numbers, but provides you with all of the potential you need to explore and experiment. Like, I love the idea of having my entire board game collection stored on this one device, and it's actually the thing that, I kind of want to start an entire series around that. Like, beginning of the video, we gather around the table. Today we're playing a Euro. We roll the die, and it's the thing that decides what we're actually playing. I don't know. There's a lot of fun applications. There's a lot of cool ideas. I am sure these are not the only ones. I'm sure you all are already thinking of them as I talk. So, follow the link down below. Swing over and check out the project. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any thoughts. It is new technology. It is experimental. But I think there's going to be some people that get really excited about this and have a lot of fun modding, customizing, and designing it for people that just want to play with it like me. Whatever the case, though, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. We'll see you next time.